with some of the families to go by the hospital and again deliver a message that he has. And then we'll answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mike. I want to thank Mike. I want to thank the chief. I want to thank all of law enforcement, federal, state, local. You see everybody working together here. Today is a day that not only angers but also saddens all of us. This should never happen anywhere, but you certainly never imagined. We never imagined what happened in Louisiana. Never imagined what happened in Lafayette. It's kind of a night, kind of an awful night that brings us together as a community. We are a resilient community. We ask people for their thoughts, for their prayers. Let us shower these families with love. Let me tell you, I did have a chance to go to a local hospital and visit with some of the families. I thank the doctors, the nurses, the others that are taking such great care of these that were injured tonight. I want to share with you just a quick story about, just a story of heroism, just an example of what happened inside the theater. I was visiting with the several family members and friends. There was a couple of teachers that were in that movie theater tonight. Both of them were shot. One of them was released tonight. Her friend literally jumped over her, and her account actually saved her life. If she hadn't done that, her friend got shot, the fellow teacher got shot. That bullet, she believed, would have hit her in the head. Now, both teachers ended up shot. The second one, the one whose life was saved, even though she was shot in the leg, she had the presence of mind to pull the fire alarm to help save other lives. You know, I think that as we learn more about the details tonight, we're going to hear about other acts of selfless heroism, of people trying to help each other and trying to save other lives. These were two teachers just out to watch a movie during their last few days of summer break, getting ready for the new semester. They never imagined that their little outing would be interrupted by this senseless act of violence, this awful, awful tragedy. I saw family members that were hoping for the best. They were waiting information on their loved ones. They hoped, they believed that even though they wouldn't be discharged tonight, they would be able to make recoveries. But right now, they want to know, and they're waiting for the doctors to be able to tell them that. They're praying, they're fearful, they're anxious. The best thing we have heard from folks all over the country, literally all over the country, now's a great time to send them your thoughts, your prayers, your love. This is a resilient community. Lafayette will come together. I can't name every single agency and folks that are here, but we've been joined by local, state, and federal folks. I do want to just, again, I'll close by thanking our law enforcement officials. You heard me say this earlier tonight. They ran towards danger, not away from it. The first officers could literally still hear the gunshots, and they still ran towards that theater. They do an amazing job protecting us every single day. I'm grateful for their heroism in this. I think we'll hear other stories from folks inside the theater as those details come out. Again, keep those family members in your thoughts and prayers. I know there was a lot of anxiety tonight in the emergency room. A lot of folks just waiting to hear some good news about their loved ones.
We'd like to thank Governor Jindal on behalf of our community as well. He spoke with our city parish president tonight, Joey Durrell, who is traveling. He is catching air travel back to Lafayette and should be back around daylight early tomorrow morning. Our prayers are certainly with all of those who have been injured and those who have lost loved ones tonight. We need to point out again, and we can't emphasize enough to our local folks, that this is a major crime scene. It is a large crime scene that is along a state highway. Tomorrow morning on Friday, that roadway is going to be very, very busy. Please don't take that way to work. If you can take a different route, please allow and respect what's going on here today. This is just the beginning of a very long process, as Colonel Edmondson said, and we need our community to come together. Please respect the families and respect their privacy. Pray for them. Pray for these first responders who got in harm's way today and saved many lives this evening. We thank you all for your outpouring of love and support and the contact that we've had from throughout the United States tonight. But please, again, to our local folks, pray for our community, but take care of each other and stay away from this crime scene.
Any questions?
Colonel, can we ask you the items that are inside the theater? What can you say about them that made you guys classify them as suspicious?
Well, there's a backpack in there. There's several items that when the dogs went there initially that they hit on. So that concerns us. We want to go in there and make sure that we clear it, because once we do that, we're going to let crime scene investigators go in there. Their job is going to take some time. There's been multiple shots fired in there. They got to locate each one of those shells, the gun itself, all that information that we have to build a case on. Even though we have the alleged shooter that's deceased, we still have to build a case. And I think it's out of fairness to all involved, let's put some closure to this. And I think that's how we did. We began closure tonight with interviewing all that was in there. Again, I think a little over 100 individuals were in the theater, talking to the witnesses that were there, and dealing with the local hospitals, and also some of the eyewitnesses that saw it happen. So we'll have to look at his history, we'll have to look at his family, that'll all be part of it. But I think compiling it all together and bringing some closure for this facility, for this neighborhood, and certainly for this city. Like the governor said, the first responders, they were running in. I mean, our ambulances, all those individuals that were going in there because they simply wanted to do something that would save a human life. This was an ordinary evening, and I think y'all see that it became extraordinary pretty quickly.
Have any of the victims been released from the hospital?
Okay,
have you got to his house?
Police officers will be going to the house. They probably already have, and they're working on that now, and we have not received any information back on that.
Any information on the shooter's criminal background? I know you're not releasing his name, sir.
He does have a criminal history. It looks like it's pretty old, nothing recent that we found thus far. But one of the things we have to do is make sure that the person we're looking at is positively identified as the person whose identity we found. So that's going to take some time. And I know there's a lot of speculation right now on social media, and we ask, please don't put out any information that could put our officers in harm's way. There's a lot of investigation to be done regarding this suspect's background, and we certainly don't want to compromise the safety of those officers who may be going to different addresses and different locations to learn more about the suspect.
Have any of the victims been released from the hospital? Or are their conditions upgraded?
I think one victim has been released from the hospital. And again,
I saw one victim being released. I personally saw at least one victim being released.
One of the teachers?
Yes.
the injuries range from non-life-threatening to critical. We know that one victim was in surgery and was not doing well. And so we're getting constant updates from the medical facilities. We do have police officers there to make sure those folks are protected, and we'll continue to get updates throughout the night while we work this scene.
Do you have any idea when the people will be able to return to their homes and bring more accountability?
I think that's going to take time, Chief May. Once we clear the car, once we go inside the building and clear that, and then we can let the technicians actually start working the crime scene itself. Probably several hours to get that done. And again, I don't want to put a time limit on it because this is about safety. It won't be open, and they won't be allowed to go back till we know or feel that they're absolutely safe. That's why you're going to hear the noise around the cars. People will hear that. That's strictly us working and making sure that I'm not going to put a trooper in there to open that trunk or go inside that car. So it's going to take a while, but hopefully we can do it as quickly as possible, but also as safely as possible.
So the suspect entered the movie theater alone. Can you explain how you know that?
We think he was alone. Just from eyewitnesses that we've interviewed already, no one reported seeing him sitting with anyone. He appeared to be by himself.
So can you give us any ages of the victims?
The ages range from the late teens to probably into the 60s.
How about those?
We're actually talking to a family right now, so let's give that family a chance to get that information out there.
Right.
I think that's important. I mean, that's closure to that family. It's a horrible situation to have something like that happen. So it was important to us to go in there and ID the bodies in there. And we have done that, and they're actually talking to the families now.
We have started to make the death notifications to family members who went to the hospital to check on their loved ones.
You said 100 people were in the theater. Was that the entire theater or just the actual movie theater where the movie was going on?
We don't know exactly the head count inside the theater, that particular theater itself, but I was told when I arrived on scene that we had about 100 people to interview.
Any idea about motive?
Not yet. This kind of stuff just leaves you wondering. Why would a guy come into a theater? In this city, we have a relatively safe city, and just randomly start shooting people. It's hard to figure out, and he's deceased, so we may not ever know.
How many weapons did you recover from the scene?
We haven't recovered any yet.
Guys, we're going to stop this press conference. The next press conference will probably take place once the building is secure and cleared, okay? We'll let y'all know when that's going to take place. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colonel.